Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Cabral.
Welcome back, everyone. Glad to have you here on the Sunday edition of the Cabral HouseCalls. Happy to be here with you answering our community's questions just like we do every single weekend. So I hope that you have been tuning in for the past year, 2 years, 5 years for the Cabral concept. And of course, if you're a new listener, you're always welcome to go back and check out all previous episodes at stevencabral.com/podcasts. All right. So yesterday we went through so many great questions. I do hope, like I said, that you joined us yesterday. I'm opening up the big document of all of the different questions, and I just want to share with you what we did go through just in case you did miss the show. So yesterday was episode, 1961, which means today is episode 1962. So if you want to follow along with the questions, you can head on over to stevencabral.com/1962. Looks like we went over collagen and whether it's good or not for someone that's had breast cancer in the past. We went over, should you use a microwave or should you stay away from microwaving foods? We went over how to get rid of EMFs on Apple Watches, Fitbits, and other bio trackers. Also talked about idiopathic subglottic tracheal stenosis, whatever that means. I'll go over exactly what it means on yesterday's show. And then we went over how to tell in one particular case if you have high stomach acid or low stomach acid causing heartburn, and then what to do about whey protein or ghee if they show up as a food sensitivity on your food sensitivity test. All right, that was yesterday. Today, brand new set of questions. We're going to try to get through 6 questions in under 20 minutes. That's the goal. I know we can do it. Let's get started. First question is from Hailey. Hailey says, hey, Dr. Cabral, I've been a listener for 4 years. My question is that I have been struggling with acne forever, and mostly what I would say is it's hormonal because it was around my mouth and chin. I have brought the amounts of active sites down a lot by diet and supplements to lower my cortisol levels. It's always a work in progress. I live in the Midwest. I have an indoor job, but for the first time in forever, I took a beach vacation, and in prepping, I did go to a tanning bed prior to vacation. I noticed that while using the tanning bed all the time on vacation, I was getting a lot of sunlight. My skin was beautiful. Since I've come back to the Midwest, my skin has blemishes and is breaking out again. What would you suggest? What could I do? The only other time my skin was very clear was when I was pregnant and then nursing. I do take DNS, 4,000 IUs of vitamin D, B complex, omega-3s, probiotics, adrenal soothe, magnesium, ashwaganda tea. Thank you for all you do for us. I share your podcast and book with others often. Hailey, thank you so much. Really great question. And of course, happy to help you with that right now. So let's just go with, again, we always use Occam's razor. All right. So you were in the tanning booth, you're on vacation. Well, when you're on vacation, there's also a lack of stress typically, or at least your stress is way down. Okay. So that's a good thing. But the other thing is you're getting sunlight and the sunlight is helping the acne. Interesting. Okay. Well, you told me you're getting vitamin D, which is great. And on a daily basis, you're taking a supplement. However, the sun does so much more than just give you vitamin D. It helps with detoxification. It kills bacteria on the skin and under the skin. And you very well maybe it's a hormonal type of acne. Very, very possible because you did say when you're on vacation, when you were pregnant, you didn't have acne then. So here's what we need to do. 100%, no doubt about it, we need to run. If there's only one lab to run, it's this one. Now, I'd recommend the Big 5, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. But you want to run the stress hormones, mood, and metabolism test. It's over at eco.life. The reason you want to run this is because you need to know if it truly is hormonal acne. And so what you want to do is, especially if you're getting higher levels of acne 7 days or so before your menstrual cycle begins, day 1 of menstruation, Okay, you want to take your lab right around then, days 19, 20 of your cycle, all right? Very, very important. Then we'll know. We'll know if you have estrogen dominance. We can look at your cortisol. We can look at your testosterone. We can look at thyroid. We can look at all sorts of different levels. So I would love to have that checked. Next, we want to run either the bacteria and parasite stool test or both, the Candida metabolic and vitamins test, because this could be an issue of intestinal permeability. And that can oftentimes coincide with skin issues. So if you can run the big five, run the big five, because it'll give you everything. It'll tell you about omega-3s. It'll tell you about your B vitamins. It'll tell you about your omegas. It'll tell you about heavy metals. So that's what we need to do, because again, at some point, everyone says, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of, and then insert your ailment. Acne in this case. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of having acne. Good. Let's figure this out. Really, we can figure this out. We can figure it out for everybody, and I truly mean that. But we have to run a lab. We really do. And if you can't, I get it. I understand it. But then in this case, well, what can we do? Well, if we can't do that, you're taking great products, but we'll want to use a product like estrogen balance. And then we'll also want to use probably the CBO protocol, right? Because we want to fix the gut if we think the gut might be an issue. All right, so Hailey, there's a few things to do. And I'm already fired up at the beginning of the show. We're only one question in. I'll have to take things down a notch, or I'll have to take some adrenal soothe myself. All right, Gosia is up next. And it says, hi, Dr. Cabral. Thank you so much for a great insight on so many topics. I have learned a lot from you. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm a nutritional therapist and also use your advice in my practice. I listened once to your podcast where you were mentioning that you have never seen food intolerance to blueberries. However, I have to admit that on the test I did, an IgA from blood sample, it came up together with broccoli and cabbage. Seems like great things to eat. I actually eat them without any symptoms. Do you think it would be worth taking them off? Another question when it comes to mind, when I did the test, I was very much overloaded with candida, so the test was showing reaction to oregano and coconut. Do you think this could have been because candida reacts to these products? Another question I wanted to ask on candida is, does it have any connection with high lactic acid on organic acids test, despite arabinose? Thanks a lot for your help. Regards. Okay. We get a lot of questions in here. Happy to answer all of them. All right, when I say blueberry never comes up, it's on an IgG food sensitivity test. That's different. It's a latent response from the body. Different. Now, this goes back to food sensitivities again. Food sensitivities do not cause bloating, gas, indigestion necessarily, diarrhea, constipation, etc. They cause the other issues: joint pain, brain fog, low mood, skin rashes, hair falling out, all sorts of other issues. So when you say you're not suffering any symptoms, well, you don't necessarily know that, because any symptom of any malady in the body that comes from inflammation could be coming from the foods that you're eating. So you can't say that you're symptom-free unless you're totally symptom-free. And even then, if your body's showing a reaction, it's showing a reaction. So there's at least some small level of inflammation. Anyway, typically, depending on the level of inflammation, I didn't run this test, so I don't specifically know which this test is. You would recommend removing those foods for at least a 6-week period of time. Okay. Now, for candida can cause all sorts of inflammation in the gut, which can cause intestinal permeability, which can cause more than food sensitivities, right? So we need to fix that. So if you haven't already done the CBO protocol, I would do the CBO protocol over at equa.life. And then, can candida cause high lactic acid? The answer is yes, it is possible. It is an anaerobe, or causes more anaerobic-based fermentation. And so the answer is yes, it is possible, but not necessarily that. It could be from a hard workout the day before. It could be from more lactic acid-based producing bacteria in the gut. So there's other reasons why. Good questions, and hope that helps. All right, Simone is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I would be super grateful if you give me some advice on the following. I do intermittent fasting, and therefore I eat 2 meals a day. In order to get my calories and nutrients in, I make them super large. Healthy, of course, but large. What I'm noticing is that I get extremely bloated after these meals. I had my gut tested, and I have no yeast overgrowth, parasites, or anything similar. That's why I wanted to ask you if you think my bloat is the result of my large meals, or if I should get more testing for food intolerances. And if it's a large meal, how should I deal with it to avoid the bloat? Thank you in advance for your answer, and hope you have a wonderful day, Simone. I'm happy to help on this. Keep in mind, I have a whole category now of podcasts just in intermittent fasting. You can find them on iTunes. You can also find them at stevencabral.com/podcasts. just scroll through the images. You'll find one on intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting does not mean 2 meals a day. All right. Intermittent fasting could be 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours, 23 out of the 24 hours. Could be a monk fast, 36 hours, right? So it doesn't mean 2 meals a day, and it doesn't mean a specific time. You can do a 16-8 fast by following what I talked about, and exactly what I talked about on episode 1958 this week, which is on ancient Ayurvedic fasting protocols. Definitely check that out, because you can get in 3 meals a day and still do 16-8 fast if you want, okay? So let's get to the question at hand. Yes, 100%. The bloating is most likely from the massive amount of food that you're packing into your stomach. So when you increase the food, you're stretching the stomach, but you're also increasing the amount of time that it's going to take for that food to pass through the stomach, through that pyloric valve into the duodenum, which is the first part of the small intestine. And because of that, there can be more fermentation. And it's just a lot of discomfort. It's actually very unhealthy for the body. It is very unhealthy for the body to have a huge meal because it takes a massive amount of enzymes, yes, but a massive amount of energy. So there's a couple, the best thing you could do is eat 3 meals instead of 2. That's the truth. Because if you're trying to get all your nutrients in, having 4 cups of vegetables at each meal, and you don't want to get fruit in because fruit does not food combine well with anything. Unless you're blending that, you're pre-blending it. And I'm assuming you're not going to do blended foods for a meal, but you could do that. So the best thing you could do is listen to the podcast on how to still do a 16-8 with 3 meals a day. The next best thing that you could do is have the big meals like you're doing right now, but take 3 enzymes. Take one at the beginning of the meal, one mid-meal, one at the end of the meal, to just keep digesting that food to a greater degree. Drink a glass of ginger tea, hot ginger tea with that meal, and potentially even use some betaine, HCl, and pepsin. If you don't have H. pylori, that could help with protein digestion. You would take that mid-meal. All right. So a lot of advice in there, and hopefully, I know one of them for sure should work for you. All right. Thank you. Good question. Michelle's up next. Dear Dr. Cabral, how do you feel about a continuous glucose monitor? Do you think it would be a good idea to wear one for a few weeks to figure out what raises your blood sugar and try to keep it balanced? I feel that blood sugar is supposed to go up and down, and the monitoring is obsolete. But I trust you more than anyone else when it comes to natural health advice, so I'd love to hear what you think about it. Kind regards, Michelle. Yeah, Michelle, I'm in the same camp as you. It is not outrageous to believe that your blood sugar can increase to 120, 130, 140 after you eat a meal and then go back down within 2 hours. Like, that is a normal function of the human body. It's totally normal. Would it be great to always maintain it between 75 and 95? Yeah, probably, but also not great if you're looking to put on muscle, not great for a lot of other issues, right? It's like, or a lot of other factors. So we can't just lump everything together. Because you can use insulin in a very beneficial way. You can also use it to, use the glucose at least to signal the body that you're nourished, that you're not in a state of stress. So there's a lot of different reasons why. However, I don't believe in high blood sugar, and I don't believe in high blood sugar throughout the day. So that's certainly true. And I do like continuous glucose monitors or continuous glucose meters. And so the answer is yes, I do think they're great. Just don't overanalyze them. If you eat a meal and it goes up for 2 hours and it's back down by the 3rd hour at the latest, and you're eating 3 meals a day, and so it's back down within 2 to 3 hours, you're pretty solid. You're doing pretty well. And you want to wake up with glucose between 75 and 95 and go to bed essentially in the same place. That's ideal. So they're not obsolete. I think they're great. But I do agree with you that there can be a normal fluctuation during the day. And honestly, it's not unhealthy. Contrary to popular belief. It's only unhealthy when it stays elevated. All right. Sam's up next. If someone is interested, elevated or goes too high. All right. Just a little caveat there. Sam is up next. If someone is interested in doing both the CBO and the parasite protocols, does it matter which one is done first? Yes. I teach this inside of IHP, and I've also talked about this on previous gut healing based podcasts, which has its own category as well. So if you go to stephencabral.com/podcast, swipe through, you'll find one on gut and digestion. I also talk about this in the gut rebalancing health results accelerator, which can be found at stephencabral.com/accelerator. But I'm happy to give you your answer as well. You go most egregious to least egregious. So you're going to do parasite protocol first and the intestinal cleanse. Okay, so that's part of it. And then after that, you're going to do the CBO protocol with the H. pylori if needed, with the mastic gum, excuse me. But again, this is not medical advice. I'm not providing you a treatment protocol or cure for any disease. Just have to throw that out there. So parasite protocol first, intestinal cleanse, then CBO protocol, and then CBO finisher. And that's it. All right, Nancy's up next, and she is our final question for the day. We already met our 6. Let's see. 1 with Hailey, then Gosia, then Simone, then Michelle, then Sam, and now Nancy. You got it. All right. So Nancy's up next. I've been following Dr. Cabral's podcast on heavy metal poisoning, but couldn't find anything with regards to detox for uranium from well water. Is there a podcast or specialist you can refer me to for a telemedicine consultation? Thank you in advice for your help. Okay, so Nancy, I'm happy to help you with this. First things first. 1 is it's not medical advice, but 2, if you've been poisoned and you're at a poisonous level, then you should actually call the CDC and call your PCP right away. No doubt about that. So that's what you need to do. If we're talking about lower levels of uranium that you need to get out of your body, functional medicine detox, 21 days. Heavy metal detox, okay? Important. Using sodium bicarbonate. That's actually recommended, I believe, by the Center for Disease Control for uranium, if my memory serves me correctly. And so we've got 21-day functional medicine detox. We've got the heavy metal protocol. Functional medicine detox opens up liver pathways, supports it with precursors to glutathione. It has all your zinc and all your good things in there. You're going to continue to use your daily nutritional support. I would also use the immunity protocol with that, and ideally the daily foundational protocol level 2. I would use the sodium bicarbonate, and then I would use, the heavy metal detox already comes with a binder. Let me confirm that. All right, for everybody else, you can go to equa.life/products/heavy-metal-detox. And nope, so you're going to use a binder with that as well. And so then you're just going to go to equa.life and then type in binder. And that's going to have the, the best thing to do is use the intestinal cleanse with that as well. Or if you want, just use the binder. And the binder should have bentonite clay. It probably will have a little zeolite in there. And that's going to be great to bind those up as well. All right. Again, not a medical protocol, but that's what I would do for anyone in my family or myself if I found uranium on a lab test that I had. Okay. But again, if you are at a poisoned level, please see the CDC. Please see your PCP. All right. Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate, again, your listens, your downloads, your support. If you haven't reviewed the Cabral concept, I would love for you to give it a quick review on your favorite podcast player. It takes less than a minute, and certainly it will help the show out in the rankings. So thank you so much. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow on our Mindset and Motivation Monday. Thanks so much for tuning in today. You know I appreciate it. I truly do. And right now, going on over at Equalife, we have an amazing offer. We are literally giving away one of our most popular products, and that is the Advanced Collagen Support. This is one of the only collagen products actually backed up by science. That means there are 3 patented ingredients. One of them is called Fortigel, the other one Tendoactive, and the last one Mobily. These are all used to clinically support your muscles, your skin, your nails, and your hair. That means after these products were created, they went through actual scientific research and were proven to improve the anti-aging based processes that naturally happen in our body, but after the age of about 25 to 30 years old, they start to go downhill a little bit each and every year by percentages. Well, those percentages add up. And that's why when you use a product that's backed by clinical science like Advanced Collagen Support, you get to take back those anti-aging based qualities about your body. You give your body what it needs in order to repair the hair, the skin, the nails, the muscles, the tissues, and the joints. So this is the absolute best product to add to your daily nutritional support smoothie. You take the complete protein, which is the daily nutritional support, all your vitamins, all your minerals, and then you add in your advanced collagen support. Now, if you choose not to do it that way, that's okay. You can add advanced collagen support to your favorite tea, your favorite coffee, your oatmeal, because it mixes instantly. So
Get your free bottle. This is an amazing $59 value. So you get it completely free over at equi.life. That's EQUI.LIFE. Yours free on all qualifying purchases this week while supplies last. Take care.